Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to Real Talk with Elder Michelle. It has been a week, and I'm so glad to be back on with you all. We are going to be doing something different. I got some news that I want to share with everyone, because this is going to be something big. I want you to make sure that you go to YouTube and you subscribe to Gospel Awakenings, um, and follow them. And I want to make sure that you are also watching Gospel Awakening, because there's going to be a face showing up over there real soon. We haven't finished ironing out everything, but hopefully and prayerfully, by the will of God, all things will work for the good of them that love the Lord, and that we will give him another area in our lives to give honor to him, that is due him, through a new slot TV show that I'm going to have over on Gospel Awakenings. It will be, if we don't change it, because they are helping me tweak things, because they are the professionals and they're training me. So hopefully we will be launching soon an inspirational moment with Pastor Michelle Hinton, and it'll be airing on Gospel Awakening. So keep me in your prayers, everyone, as we go forth in that. And it will be that as it grows, I will be having other guests that I'm going to talk to and see if they want to do the inspirational moment instead, and be a part, so that we can help each other. Okay. So we'll see what's going on, and I'll keep you abreast of it. So just keep me in your prayers and keep watching it. Keep your ears out and your eyes open to see what Gospel Awakening is doing. They are an awesome group of people. You saw me when I did a quick little shout out for the Restructuring the Church 2024 conference that we were at, that they did. And I told you about some of the things and the awesome people that were on, and the many things. And I actually got to sing with the Gospel Awakening Choir. And that was fun. So we are hoping to do many new things and many more wondrous things in the upcoming year. So just like I said, keep me in your prayers and keep a watch, because we're moving to places that God wants to take us to. And thing is, we're going to be obedient to his will and humble and meek in his way, so that I don't get a big head, because all the things that I've asked, I pray like Jabez, and keep me so that I do not cause harm. You bless me well and bless my territory and all of those things, but keep me so that I do not cause harm, because I never want to harm anybody because of a big head, just because of the blessings that the Lord, because we want to always remember everything is, as my first lady says, for his glory, not yours. So I want you to, let's bless Gospel Awakening and then bless me as well. All right, I'll keep you abreast on when to look for me, and when the shows will air, so that you'll be on the lookout. But even before, just start supporting Gospel Awakenings. If you all remember when Bishop Terrence Jenkins used to do, I'm so used to calling it Gospel Awakenings, I can't remember the other name. Sorry, Bishop Jenkins. That's because y'all are so awesome now with Gospel Awakenings. Okay. But anyway, just keep watching. Just go. It's the greatest show, because you don't get that platform. Bobby Jones Gospel went away. You don't get that platform of the gospel TV show anymore. If it's like, go listen to, download a song, pull up your song, but you don't see the whole of it anymore. So go find Go and watch them. Global. You hear what I say? Global. And they are the #1 global TV network, gospel network. So, number one, they're on the winning team. We're on the winning team, #1. So, please, I can't say enough about it. And not just because I'm becoming a part of Gospel Awakening, but because they just are that great. I mean, you saw what I had to say about their conference, and I told you about the different people that were on it. I mean, they're just an awesome group of people. And when you got people that are that awesome and God is behind them, we ought to support them. So let's definitely keep an eye and let's watch them and let's see what's the next level that God's getting ready to take them to, as well as me. So keep your eye out. Real Talk is moving, and it's going to be a different type of thing, but we're going to see what the Lord has for us. Okay. So tonight, what I wanted to talk about, because I don't want to hold your attention too long. I want to just be brief and I want to talk about it. First of all, let me tell you that the article that I'm going to be using to talk about how to disagree without dividing. How can the church disagree without dividing? And the article I'm using is called 5 Attitudes to Help Christians Disagree Without Dividing. It's written by Meredith N. Mills. It was published on December the 11th, 2024. And it was so awesome that I thought that I would use it. Keep an eye on things that she published. This is a very good article. So look her up, Meredith N. Mills. Okay. So she started the article by saying, is it possible to disagree without being disagreeable? See, there's a difference. We can all agree that we can disagree in love. Disagreeable people are people that never get along with anybody. They are contradictory people. That's the difference. And if you're disagreeable, it means you want to be contradictory over everything. Hello, Sister Smith. Good to see you. And you don't want to compromise. You never can be the person to compromise. Disagreeable people don't compromise. It's my way or the highway. It's everybody wrong and I'm right. So she was saying, how can Christians hold different opinions without creating division? What heart attitudes promote harmony in a dissonant world? And this is something that we must understand. As the church, this should be possible. What we find in the church is that people want to go and fight in the church. I've seen them on Facebook where you're looking like idiots and you giving the church a bad name because y'all standing in there, and because you disagree about something, you fighting and somebody posting it on Facebook. That's sad. When the church has gotten to that, don't get me started there. All right, but we should be, as children of God, there should be an ability to disagree without becoming divided. Throughout the New Testament, God calls his people to like-mindedness. And this is true. We see this in Philippians 2:2, where it says, make my joy complete by being like-minded, having the same love, being one in spirit and of one mind. We are supposed to be on one accord in Christ. And if the church can ever do that, we would be able to accomplish much. Why do you think the churches of old did more than the churches today? Because the churches of old got on one accord. They would pray, they fasted, they prayed, they came together. There was no division among, even if you disagreed. If the church chose to do it, you worked, and you worked diligently with it. Even if you didn't like the pastor, you respected them for the fact that they were the pastor. Today, no. There's no respect for the position. We don't care. I don't like them. That's that. But you know what? Sometimes you might need to check yourself, because you might be the problem, not pastor. You might be the problem, not the deacon. You might be the problem, not the mother. So that's why we always should check ourselves. But the thing is, as being in one with Christ, we should be on one accord. If we all serving the same Lord, why are we not on one accord over the things that are detrimental to our souls? If it's going to break your soul, it's going to cost you your salvation. If it's that detrimental, we should be on one accord that we don't mess with that. We don't do that. If it is beneficial to our souls, it's going to help us in our walk in salvation, then we ought to be on one accord that we're going to do it. That's how come when you say that you want to have a church-wide fast, every single member ought to be fasting. I don't care how they do it, whether they say, okay, you know what, I'm going to be a part of it, but I ain't going to do no all-day kind of thing. I'm going to fast for 2 hours every day. Do it, because you're still being part of. It should never be division just because we don't agree. I have a right to my opinion. You have a right to yours. And then the Bible will tell us whether we're right or wrong. Okay? And then another one, it says, let us aim for harmony in the church and try to build each other up. That's Romans 14 and 19. So what is the problem? Why is it? The author here, Meredith, says these verses have her nod in her head in agreement. Yes, unity is beautiful. And I'm with her. I do the same. But I also feel the same way that she comes up, what she's going to say. Because I love a noble calling for a holy people. And you say to yourself, I want to live that way. To build others up. To represent the gospel well. To reflect the God who is our peace. We want to do it. We are on fire to it. But then everyday life gets messy. We all operate with our own unique filters. I love this part that she says. Our culture, our family background, our stories, our church affiliation, our wounds, our personalities. Even as Christians, we hold different beliefs, have different priorities, lean toward different preferences. How then can we possibly promote peace? Now, here's the thing. I love that she said, because that is the basis of where the problems come in division among the church. You know what? Socioeconomic status. Little man, big man. Big man can't understand little man because big man ain't never went through nothing. Little man is looking at big man saying, you don't understand the struggle, so you don't even know what I'm talking about. How you gonna speak? You know, it's like we say about a child psychologist who has no children. How you gonna tell me when you ain't even got no children? You don't know nothing about what they do. You talking about book sense, book stuff that you was taught in school. You haven't lived the experience of raising a kid. You say, tell Johnny, no, Johnny, that's not correct. That's inappropriate behavior, Johnny. In real life, John is still running around looking at you like you stupid, because looking at you like, I don't know what appropriate means, and I don't know what behavior means. I'm just doing my thing. And you steadily trying to, oh, no. Now, pop Johnny and tell him, didn't I tell you sit down? It's not going to kill him. I can promise you that. My son is 38. He got many. Sit down. I told you to sit your little tail down and be still. He is fine. I promise you. Alive, doing well. And he got spanked. Yes, he did. He got some groundings, but he did get spanked, because I believed in the scripture, spare the rod, spoil the child. I didn't spoil my child. And guess what? He ain't died. And I tell you something else he didn't do. He didn't grow up and turn around and try to hit me either. He didn't grow up and turn around and try to run my house. He knows who mama is. because we have to learn to give that healthy bit. But anyway, I don't want to get off of what we're talking about. So, how is it that we love the same God, we want the same peace, we want the same unity, we want the same goal, we all got the same goal to make it back in, but we don't know how to act down here together? Where's the problem? Okay, a lot of it, as I was saying, working in the unique filters. You got cultures and family backgrounds. There are some of us that we were raised, yes ma'am, no ma'am. But then there are those that come from a background of yes, no. And the yes ma'am, no ma'ams look at the yes, no's like, y'all ain't got no manners. No respect for elders. You don't tell your elder yes or no. But that is the family background. That's the culture. That's what they were raised in. That's what they know. And in their culture or in their family background, that's good. We don't know different stories. Some people have a disagreement with pastors because they had a bad experience with a preacher. So their story is they don't trust them. I'm here to tell you, when I first got saved, I actually went to see what the scammer was about, and the Lord met me there instead, and I got saved. But I thought, all preachers, because of an experience that I had with preachers, a preacher that I had honored, I had looked up to, and then he did dirty, and it was like, oh, all of them dirty, one bad apple had given me that belief. So when I got saved, it was me actually going to check this pastor out because my family kept hollering about how wonderful he was. And in my head, it was like, he's scamming y'all. Y'all just went through the scam and you gonna get scammed again. Let me go hear what he all about. And I walked in, and Elder Herman L. Bond told me to pieces with the Prince of Peace. The Holy Spirit used that man, and when he finished bringing that message, I said, no, I just want to be saved. I just want that peace. And I gave my life right then and there at 20 and never went back. So some of our stories make up. My story makes up the reason why I'm that committed to Christ. Because I had some things that I went through, and he still wanted me, though I thought I was not worth anything. He saw what was in me. He saw the best in me, as Marvin Sapp could say. He saw the best in me when I couldn't see it myself. And not only that, opened up doors because he had a job that he wanted me to do. And he didn't want anybody else to do this but me. Now others preach and pastor, but the way he wanted me to do it is the way that he wanted me to do it. And nobody else can be Elder Michelle Hinton but me. But even then, I didn't know I was going to be a preacher. But what I'm saying, he used me. And it was like, wow. But my story makes me that much more committed. Then church affiliation. We walk around. Baptists think that they the ones. Church of Christ think that they the ones. Kojic think that they the ones. Episcopalian think that they the ones. Taoists think that they the ones. Buddhists think that they the ones. Everybody got something. And everybody's church affiliation is what brings about how they are. Our wounds, like I said, I got wounds that kept me. Our personalities, I'm a loyal person. I'm one of those type that I'm very loyal. If you prove that you deserve my loyalty, I'll stick with you to the end. If you break or betray it, you can't get it back. That's the only difference now. I will forgive you. I will be friendly with you. I will continue to love you. But you will never get that level of loyalty that you had out of me before. Because now I can't trust you. So this is things that happen, and this is things that cause the issues in the church. Why we can't disagree and keep from being divided, because some of us have personalities where we are takeover spirits. And a takeover spirit has got to be the one that wins. They can never be the one to compromise or so-called in their minds lose. They must be in charge. They have to be the one that is always on top and always right, even when they know they're wrong. So you have to be careful, because personalities can be the ones that cause issues on agreement and disagreements and dividing, because a person that does not like to lose has a tendency to garner people to their side or their way of thinking, because those that do not like to lose generally are very charismatic people. That means they're very persuasive, and they are very good at giving a persuasive argument to make a person see it their way, even though at first you won't with it. You was, I'm not with that, I disagree. But they have that ability to give a persuasive argument and make you fall for their rhetoric. So we have to be careful. This is some of the ways. And here's something, even as Christians, we hold different beliefs. There are those that believe, there are those that believe that family first. I'm just using that one because I'm a firm believer it's Christ first. You wouldn't have the family without the Lord. So the Lord comes first and then family. Do I give them time? Yes. But if the call is far more important for what the Lord has called, then family has to come secondary. Do you take vacation time so that you can be with family? Of course. Just be careful when you take the vacation. I find it offensive that a leader takes a vacation in the middle of a problem in the church. You shouldn't be taking a vacation in the middle of a problem in the church, because that's critical. Soul salvations. People's souls are at stake. So you don't do that. All right. But I understand some people have to. But then also Christians have different beliefs on so many things, because some people are steeped in tradition and they don't understand it has absolutely nothing to do with the Church of Christ, his church. It has absolutely nothing to do with what is soul saving. It's tradition. It's something that somebody came up with, and we've been doing it this way for 50 years. So now it's law. No, it's not. It has no basis in the Bible. If I can't find it in the Word, it's no basis. That's something that is not essential for salvation. So don't tell me that I'm locked down on it, because no, I'm not. Then we have different priorities. Some people put different things, like I just said. Some people hold family above as first. They'll forsake church. They won't go to a service because my family. Is your family going to stand in the gap on the day of judgment? No. It's going to be your works that is going to judge you and going to speak for you. Your family won't be able to say, well, no, they were so good at being at family gatherings. They didn't go. Okay. Well, you're going to answer for those things, because these are different priorities. And so by us having different priorities, this is where many of our division comes. Because if I'm saying that the widows need to be looked after and we need to put something in place for them, but you sitting over here going, well, no, that's not as important as this West Wing that we want to put on the church. Because we trying to decide what we do with this extra $10,000 blessing that the Lord done sent. And well, my priority is to look after the members of the church. So I want to do something for the widows and the singles. Something that's that we can put together a program or something that's going to help them all the way through. But your priority is the church's beautification. So you think that wing is better. then we have that disagreement. But here's the thing, it should not divide us. Let me tell you some of the attitudes, okay? I want to get into them. The first one, humility. Humility should be the first thing that you use. All right, we have this dilemma. $10,000. We're trying to figure out what we're going to use the $10,000 in the church for. You, sister, want to implement some program within the church that is going to help the single mothers and the widows. You, brother, you think the church needs this extra wing for classrooms. I'm going to put it that. I'm going to say that, okay? Hello, Minister Dunlap. Good to see you on. And so, we got this heated debate. Well, I don't understand why you don't see that people are more important than chairs in a classroom. Well, I don't understand, sister, why you don't see that education so that we can know better and do better. And we need to break out and we need to have separate classes. So we need classrooms. I don't understand why you can't see the importance of that. We're talking about soul salvation. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, there you go. First, humility should have been the thing that came out of the mouths. How do you show humility? Because it paves the way for growth, is what she says. 1 Peter 5:5 instructs us, dress yourselves in humility as you relate to one another. For God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. What does that mean? How could we have just changed that? Sister, brother, I understand and I see your points about having classrooms so that we can have a breakout in classes. But I would hope that you can see the point of that I'm coming from, that we have widows and single mothers that are not able to even have meals. Why can we not implement some type of program that will help them? We have this $10,000. What can we do? That's showing humility. Not, I'm going to come at you, you come at me, because I want what I want and I want what I want. Brother can come back and with humility say, you know, I do see what your point is. How can we work this that we can both get what we're looking for? Because see, when you humble, it means you quiet. It means you're not boasting and you're not up in my face. So I hear you and you hear me. Then we can start to compromise. This is how we can disagree without dividing the church. Because see, we still on the disagreement. But now we trying to work together to find a solution that meets in the middle. Because see, I still want something for the widows and the single mothers. And brother over here still wants his classrooms. But we, by using humility and talking to each other with respect, we are now trying to figure out a middle ground. We can begin to work. Curiosity. If humility opens the door for authentic conversations, curiosity helps those conversations go deep and wide. See what I'm saying? Watch. This is James. Scripture calls us to be quick to listen and slow to speak. James 1:19. So, see what I just said? That was segueing into curiosity. Because here's the thing. We spoke with humility to each other. And I love her. I love her 5 attitudes because it's so true. We can see how it works together. Because if I see, the curiosity came when I said, I understand, I see your point. And then you came back and said, you know, I see your point. But then you got curious about, well, what can we do? How can we work? See, we done stopped fighting and headed to division because we got curious about what can we do. Then comes in the other part and the component that I just said, respect. Because if I get curious about what you're doing and if I'm humble about things, I'm going to then be respecting your idea. It says, by approaching hard conversations with humility and curiosity, we can learn to live with respect. And she cites 1 Peter 2:17, and it instructs us, show proper respect to everyone, love the family of believers, and fear God. And I want to add here, I want to add here Galatians 6:10, where it says, as we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith. And Sister Smith, you're right, but here's the thing, that ain't always so. This is where division and disagreement and dividing can come from. As you're saying, I see you put this a lot, and I want to address it because we need to come into this century. And in this century, honey, there are pastors that don't go before God. They don't know God. Let alone they go before God in prayer to know what God is saying to do. There ain't many of them today sit in a seat and hold a title, and in their head, that puts them ahead of the boss over everybody. They are not seeking God. They're not laying before him and praying and fasting. You're talking about a real pastor. You're talking about a person that has been called, anointed, and appointed to the position. And there's few and far between on them. Because a lot of those that are sitting in the seat today are about what they want. And they get annoyed when the deacons don't agree or the church don't agree with what they want. And then they get up and they'll preach it to you. And the folks might not know, but the people that didn't go along with them know that he or she is talking to them. There's a lot of using the pulpit as an argument place. So we have to be very careful in this as well, because let me tell you, sometimes division, disagreement, and dividing of the church comes through the pastor, because he or she have their clique and got their clique on their side. And then when people present a righteous and a good argument for why we shouldn't do, him, her, because we know there are female preachers that's just as bad as male preachers. Don't try to lump one group. I mean preachers. I ain't talking about sex. It's preachers. So that includes male and the female ones. They get their cliques together, and their cliques will start an argument in the conference against those that saying no. I don't see why. And using my example, I'm going to use my example and say it's a minister that wants to do something, or the pastor that has wants the classrooms, but it's a minister that wants to do something for the widows and the singles. And the pastor done got his clique together. Now the whole thing could go to a different way if humility, curiosity, and respect don't even come into play. And I'm here to tell you, too many times I've seen it where humility, curiosity, and respect, let alone open heartedness and let's see, what's the fifth one she used? And unity. Let alone those coming into play. You can't even get the humility, the respect, and curiosity into play. Because people are on power trips. And yes, as I just said, whether you agree or disagree, you still respect the position that they are pastor. And if they are wrong, pray that the Lord will show them they're wrong before the Lord has to destroy them. Because vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I will repay. And the point being that if they are out of line, he will get them. That he will get them, because he's the one that's in charge of us. That's our big boss. Whether we sometimes think that we bossier than him, you better remember what he did to one that thought that he could go up against him. He instead lost his wings. He stopped being an angel and he became known as the devil. He became known as Satan, that old serpent. So we got to remember, but as you said, we hope that pastors will, but we know that there's a lot that don't. And we got to learn to pay attention. Listen. Because all preachers are not correct. Some of them are sheep's and wolves, are wolves in sheep's clothing. Some of them are hirelings. They only there for the funds. And if you don't give them the right amount of funds, bye-bye, baby, bye-bye. That's what they'll do. So we got to be careful. But when we get to that part where it's saying, you show proper respect to everyone, love the family of believers, and fear God. And like I said, 6 and 10, where it says, as we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith. We are supposed, first of all, we're supposed to treat everybody right. But you are supposed to especially treat your sister and brother in the household of faith. This is why it's so terrible that you can come into a business meeting in the secular world. They can have a disagreement on something, but they can come up with a compromise and a solution before the meeting is over. Whereas the church can have a disagreement, and they got to keep tabling it, because every time you try to talk about it, the groups on the opposite sides go to fighting. And then services don't flow because this group is against that group. And you can feel it because the spirit ain't right. That's sad. You're causing division because you don't agree with somebody. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. You have the right to disagree with me. But at the same token, don't cause division in the church just because you don't like me. And I'm not talking in the vein of I'm the pastor. I'm talking in the vein of it in church members. Don't cause disagreement just because you don't like somebody. You have the right to disagree. You don't have to agree with what I think. But respect when they put out their opinion, respect it. Have some curiosity. And then it goes on and it says, she uses the fourth thing, open-heartedness. Romans 14 is her go-to passage for relating well with other Christians. In this chapter, the Apostle Paul addresses a hot topic in the church at Corinth, eating meat sacrificed to idols. While this may seem strange to many 21st century believers, it was a point of major contention in the church, in the early church. Paul urges believers on both sides of the issue to accept each other. In the Bible's original Greek, acceptance carries the idea of friendship, of welcoming someone close and allowing them access to your heart. What does that mean? Let me just break it down into layman's terms. What it means is the Church of Christ, Disciples of Christ, has an aim and plea, and I have been speaking on it lately a lot. But I like this part, and the reason I speak on it is because it is so true. It is applicable to life. It says, in essentials, unity. In non-essentials, liberty. In all things, charity. What does that mean? In the things essential to our salvation, we should be unified on it. If whether you eat meat and I eat vegetables becomes a source of contention among us, that's not something that should be a source of contention. There is nothing in the Bible that says to gain salvation, thou shalt not eat meat, or thou shalt not be a vegetarian. There's nothing. So don't cause it to be a source of contention that a person feels like they're being downed and they're going to hell because they don't eat meat. Because you made that there. In essentials, liberty. There is freedom. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty, there is freedom. That means don't try and use your traditional beliefs to tell me I'm going to hell. Do not bring hell and damnation through traditional beliefs. Do not bring them off of your personal beliefs, off of your cultural background or your family's background. See, many of us, we've heard lips that touch wine will never touch mine. I ain't seen nothing in the Bible that said. What I did see it say about drink was to not do it to excess. That meant, you know how we used to party and go out and get sloppy drunk? You weren't supposed to. That's what it's talking about. Not in excess. It tells you to drink red wine, a glass of red wine for what ails the stomach. That's in the Bible. I'm not telling you something that you can't find it in the Bible. That's truth. So, Jesus turned the water into wine at the wedding. And everybody goes, well, that was grape juice. No, it won't. No. He made wine. How do you know? Because it was a wedding, and what the tradition was is you gave the best wine at the beginning of the wedding, and you waited until people done started getting drunk to bring out the worst. And what they said was, how did you save the best for last? Because his was better than what they had before. But then that was Jesus. You don't get nothing but the best from him. But what I'm saying is, the point is, we love to take that as it's a traditional belief, and it is a personal belief that was handed down from generation to generation, that drinking was a sin. Gambling. Let me speak on that. People get all tore to pieces about folks buying a lottery ticket. Jesus didn't get mad about gambling. He got mad about where you was doing it. I told the people, I said, but we'll stand right there and sell a raffle ticket right on the church ground. We'll sell it in the fellowship hall. Tickets to the so-and-so. Tickets to this banquet. Tickets to that. We'll do those things, and we don't see that that's the same thing that Jesus got mad about, because the change makers was doing the selling and everything on the inner court. They could sell on the outer court, but they were on the inner court. And that's why he said, you would turn the temple of the Lord into a den of thieves. It wasn't what they were doing. It was where they was doing it. Same thing. When you got those, we are selling raffle tickets and you could win. And then you hold the drawing for the winners in the sanctuary. That is the same thing that teed Jesus off. You should at the very least, show respect for the sanctuary and hold if you did something that people gonna win tickets or win something, do it in your fellowship hall, not in the sanctuary. But those are personal beliefs that people are holding folks to and saying you're going to hell. That ain't in the Bible. It don't say nothing about that. Unless you are gambling because money is your God, then if the love of money has become your thing, then that's the root of the evil in your life. It's all about how you do it. It's all about what you're doing. When you are up there and you spending the rent money, the tithe money to buy $100 worth of tickets and $50 and 75, I don't know, 100, whatever people spending on them dang lottery tickets. If you using the money that belongs to the Lord and you gone to that before you took your tithes out, yeah, you got a problem. Now you're sinning. Okay, so that's when it becomes a problem. Open-heartedness, Romans 14. Okay. So it was talking about that. And it says, in the family of God, Christians are called to welcome one another, even those with whom we disagree. It's okay if you don't agree with what I say up here. speak your part. I'm going to respect it. And y'all know me. I'm going to even read it. I'm going to say it. And if I don't agree, just like Sister Smith, she posted, I was talking about it. And I gave a point of view about the fact that these days, you would do that when we had preachers that they laid before God before coming and saying that the Lord told me. Because see, today, preachers even use that statement just to keep folks in check. They ain't laid before God. They lying. They just lying. They know that there are some people in the church that still believe that if a person say that the Lord led them, you don't mess with that. So that's what they're using it for. It's a trick. But we should be welcoming to one another. We should know how to disagree, but don't be divided just because we disagree. We should be able to relate one another with acceptance. And however, it doesn't mean, this is what she says, it doesn't mean our differences are unimportant. It's good to have differences. It is good for you to have a different opinion from me, because now on things that are not of God. You hear what I say? Let me make that clear. If it's biblical, you should be agreeing. But if you don't, because if you don't agree with what the Bible say, then you lost. You just lost. But on things that we're talking about, we should be able to respect someone's point of view, because it might bring us to a new understanding. Let me tell you, there have been times that I was talking about this the other day. I was talking about it on yesterday, Sunday, in Bible study. Sunday school. And I said, I remember that, you think you know so much, and then something comes and you find out later you didn't know that was on I think I talked about it in Real Talk or Bible study. And because Sunday was about love. So I was talking about it, and I said, I remember, I can't talk for nobody else, but I do remember when I thought I knew it. And the preacher got up, and the preacher was talking, and he was want to be all Mr. Scholarly, and I'm sitting over there going, he wrong. He got that wrong. He just got that wrong. Because I thought I knew everything. I thought not everything, because I've never thought I knew everything. But I thought I was more scholarly than I was. And then a preacher that I respected that was far more scholarly than me came back and taught that very thing and was saying exactly what he said. And here's the thing. I had grown enough to know that they were right. And I said, you know what? This just goes to show, sometimes shut up. Sometimes just shut up. Because sometimes you're not as smart as you think you are. Sometimes you just don't know it. You need to hear an opposing opinion, and it will show you. Because sometimes the Lord used that opposing opinion to get through to you, because you've been so stubborn, stiff-necked, that you won't hear him when he telling you you're wrong. But yet you say you go to him for your answers. But when he told you you weren't right, you too stiff-necked it, you couldn't hear him. So he gives an opposing view so that you can see, oh, okay, all right then. Well, then I was wrong. And that's what we need to do. So we need to do that. And then what does this bring us to? Okay, she has this other one I want to say about differences. They are a necessary part of life. Jesus made it clear that he came to present people with a choice to either accept or reject him by faith. As Christians, we won't always agree with those who don't know him. God calls us to relate to non-believers with gentleness and respect. See, how you going to be able, I'm going to tell you what happens. Here's the thing. When you don't have gentleness and respect, this is what you do to the person that's another. You're going to die and go to hell because you just don't know the Lord. That's not what you're supposed to do. If you see a sister or brother floundering, then they that are strong are supposed to bear the infirmities of the weak. I have had people that, yes, I ain't lying. We talked about it one night on Church Rap, me, Sister Smith, and Minister Elder Karen O'Neill. And what we was talking about was, yes, I made the statement there, and I'm going to make it here. I said, yes, I have had people that ask me a question, and I'm looking at them like, really? Really? You that stupid? I didn't say it. It was in my brain. That it was, okay, sugar, I knew this when I was 5. And you telling me you don't know. You asking me this dumb question. You just being stupid. Well, like I said, I didn't say it to them. Because what I thought in my brain was, well, if I'm flippant with them, will they ever learn? No. Because if I'm flippant with them, dismissive of them, or if I talk down to them, they're not going to want to know the answer. Because they're going to walk away, going to be like, never mind. And they're going to walk away. And that's a person that you had an opportunity to change their life. But because you know everything and you ain't got time to teach, and you just think that you got to belittle, you didn't take that moment that the Lord presented you with to teach. So instead, I looked at him and said, okay, let's talk about it. Because see, I was like, I'm not going to just give you the answer. You are coming to me with something that is a baby step. I want you to get it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it out of you so that when you finish, you will never forget it. Because you can be like, Elder Hinton made me work for that answer. See, my pastor, Elder Vaughn, before he passed, he did that. He asked a question and I gave a half answer. And it was half right. He pulled everything out so that when it was done, I can guarantee you, ask me that question now. Even to this day, I can guarantee you 37 years later, I can still answer it in its entirety because he made me get it. He wouldn't give me the answer. He just kept saying, and, all right, so you saying this, and I'm like, what do you mean, and? Didn't I give you a good answer? So he pulled it. So that's what I did with her. I walked her through it. When I finished, she was like, huh, I got it. I know that. She felt good. So that's what we do. We want to teach them. We want to help them. And we may not always agree with those that don't know him, but instead of just disagreeing and being disagreeable, teach them. Within the family of faith, differences of belief are also unavoidable. Denominations exist because of that. These denominations came out of Church of Christ, his church. And people decided as it started. Paul set them up. And there became people that disagreed with, and they went off and started their own. Those things happen. Now, our source of unity, this is the 5th attitude. As is true with every quality God calls us to practice, these heart attitudes can only grow in us through connection with God's Spirit. Rather than demanding we perform them for him, he calls us to receive them from him. The God who calls to us to make every effort to keep yourselves united in the Spirit, binding yourselves together with peace. That's Ephesians 4:3. Will teach us how to be of one mind, sympathize with each other, love each other as brothers and sisters, be tender-hearted, and keep a humble attitude. And you find that in 1 Peter 3:8. So what can we do as Christians to help us so that we disagree without dividing? First, be humble. Don't come at a person because they don't agree with you and you want to start an argument in the meeting with them. Instead, listen to what they stated. And then when you get ready to rebuff them, go start it. Here, this is always the best way to start. Sister or brother, I hear what you're saying. I've listened. And I do. I actually paid attention. Name something that they said. I listened. And I heard you when you said, and I'm going back to what my example was. I heard you when you said, why couldn't we simply, with the classrooms, take one of the rooms and create in it a clothing store and a place where widows sign up to receive whatever y'all gonna give them. Now, like Howard's Chapel, we do a box that gives them food. So say that I'm gonna use that since I know it. Okay, so you say in this one room we're gonna have where you bring in clean, in good condition, lightly worn clothing that is all sizes, from baby, newborn, all the way up to 80 something, 90 years old. And these single mothers and widows that might not have no more like they did. Husband died. The money is, you got to choose whose Social Security is the best. And in here they can come, and for those that have, you know, that little bit of dignity that they don't want to lose it and be getting a handout, we have the store part so that you can, it's at a reasonable price, low enough for them to afford. But we have clothing that is free. And in this room, we also have the place you go over, you see Sister So-and-so. She's going to sign you up. And you're going to go ahead and get your first box right now. And we have the program set up that that $10,000, we can make 3 classrooms and 1 room that is an alternate. I heard that, sister. You know, I think that's a pretty good idea. And it's a way that we can communicate and come together. And even though we don't agree, because I want it to be all classrooms, you want us to do a program for, but we can compromise and come to a place of understanding. This is how we do. If you learn how to stop raising your voice and stop in the face of people, offending people and being offensive and disagreeable, we can disagree without dividing. We can disagree and still respect each other and have love one to the other. Thank you, man. Thank you, Sister Smith. It is an idea of mine, really. That's where that came from. It's an idea of something that I said. A friend asked me once and said, if you were given a large amount of funds to do something that you've always wanted to do, what would you do? That's what I would do. I would set up a place that had stuff that people can come in and with their dignity shop for clothing, or if needed because they are destitute, we got the free stuff, and all of it is still stuff that I would wear. I don't give anybody something that I wouldn't wear. If I gave it to you and it was mine, it's just that I can't fit in it no more. Either I done gained weight and it's too little, or I done lost weight and it's too big. Yes, I yo-yo, baby. So sometimes I have to give away clothes. But that's the only time. I don't give away stuff that I'm like, I was going to throw it away because it ain't wearable. I wouldn't even put this on my enemy. I'm not giving it to nobody. I'm like, it's dirty, it's nasty, it's going in the trash. It's got some spot that could never get out. I'm not going to give that to somebody. No. But anyway, this is how we are able to disagree without dividing. Respect is the key thing. Respect each other's opinions. Respect the fact that we have differences, and it's okay. It's okay for you to be different from me. It's okay for you to not agree with me. It's okay. Because guess what? I might be wrong. You might be wrong. And that's why I said, in the end, go to the Bible and see who's right. Because both of us could be wrong, for that matter. So we need to, that's why you just do it with humility, with unity, with open-heartedness, with curiosity, and above all, with respect. Show respect to each other. It goes a long, long way. Amen. All right. I hope that this lesson tonight did helped you out. I hope it resounded in your spirit. I hope that you'll take this and use it in any incident where you're in a disagreement with someone, that you don't want to have an argument that breaks friendship. Instead, you just don't agree. And I hope that this has helped you to see how to approach that so that there doesn't have to be division. Because in the church, we should never be divided because I don't agree with you. Be respectful and say, I respectfully disagree. And say, I respectfully accept that. Don't argue. And don't try to put somebody and push them down. Let's show the respect that God wants us to show to each other. Love ye one another as I have loved you. By this will all men know you are my disciples. And yet we holler that and don't show that. All right, I'm done. Have a good night. Join us. Holly Grove will be on for Bible study on Wednesday at 7. So join us. And then this week, we'll be back with Church Rap with Sister Smith and myself. I have no idea what we're going to be talking about. We'll see what God brings. All right. Sister Smith, send me some thoughts so that we can get that situated and formatted for Thursday. But I pray that you all have a blessed week. I pray that the glory of the Lord will rain down and shine upon each and every one of you. And whatsoever thing it is that you desire of the Lord, he will give it to you. In Jesus' name, I do pray and I declare and decree it. Good night.